Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to decode the ultimate control center of the human body, turning some seriously complex biology into a simple visual map. Today, we're looking at the nervous system. And honestly, this biological network is so intricate and perfectly balanced, it kind of makes our most advanced supercomputers look like pocket calculators by comparison. Think about it for a second. A modern supercomputer can process incredibly complex math at lightning speed, sure, but it needs a massive cooling center and huge amounts of electricity to pull it off. Meanwhile, your nervous system, right in this exact moment, is simultaneously processing billions of inbound sensory data points, regulating your core body temperature, keeping your heart beating, and allowing you to engage in abstract thought, all while running on just a few watts of energy. That's roughly what it takes to power a dim light bulb.
So, let's kick things off with a fascinating question about how your body coordinates completely different situations. What connects digesting your food to running from a tiger? On the surface, there is no way these seem related, right? Imagine eating a massive, heavy meal. You feel lethargic, warm, and your energy is intensely focused inward on that quiet, routine internal task of digestion. Now contrast that with the visceral, primal feeling of a tiger attack. You get that sudden adrenaline rush, your pupils dilate to take in more light, your muscles tense up, and you are ready for an extreme, life-or-death physical sprint. These are massive biological extremes, yet they're governed by the exact same master network. The sheer range of human experience is routed through one incredible system.
To figure out how it does all that, here's our agenda for this explainer. 1. The ultimate control center. 2. Neurons, the microscopic messengers. 3. How messages travel. 4. Mapping the nervous system. And 5. Autonomic stress versus rest.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, the ultimate control center.
You know, every single activity you perform happens solely because your nervous system is firing flawlessly in the background. Whether you're grabbing a bite to eat, walking down the street, focusing on an explainer like this one, or just sitting quietly lost in thought, it is the definitive control and coordination center of your body. We usually take it completely for granted because it operates so silently. But if it stops functioning, our ability to think, understand, and perform literally any activity halts right along with it. It's this invisible, continuous processing engine.
And here's the really crazy part. Your digestive, respiratory, and muscular systems entirely depend on commands sent by the nervous system. The rest of your body is completely subordinate to these overarching nerve impulses. Think of the brain like a highly demanding CEO. It takes up only about 2% of your total body weight, yet it demands a staggering 20% of your body's energy. Why? Because it's constantly sending out mandatory directives to your lungs to pull in oxygen, to your gut to process nutrients, and to your muscular system to allow movement. These systems don't just act independently, they are entirely reliant on the command chain. It's an absolute, non-negotiable hierarchy.
Moving right along to section 2, neurons, the microscopic messengers.
Okay, so we know who's in charge, but let's drill down to the foundational building blocks of this network. The neuron is the basic functional unit of the nervous system. It's a specialized nerve cell responsible for generating nerve impulses. But instead of picturing them as simple, round cells, imagine them as the biological fiber optic cables of the human body. There is immense scale and wonder going on here. We are talking about billions of these microscopic messengers inside of you right now, creating trillions of unique connections. They are the living, intricate pathways for every single command your brain issues, weaving together to form a communication web that science is honestly still struggling to fully map out.
To understand how they actually send these messages, we need to look at their anatomy. A neuron isn't just a simple wire. It's a complex, multi-part piece of machinery. It consists of a cell body and a nucleus right at its core, branching out into these things called dendrites. Think of the dendrites like massive satellite dishes, just constantly receiving incoming signals. Once the signal is caught, it travels down a long tail called the axon. But what's absolutely crucial here is the myelin sheath and the nodes of Ranvier that wrap around that axon. The myelin sheath acts exactly like the rubber insulation on a copper electrical wire. It prevents signal leakage and allows the impulses to literally jump rapidly down the line, hitting speeds of up to 260 miles per hour before arriving at the axon terminals to be passed on. Without that biological insulation, our thoughts and movements would just stutter and lag.
Which brings us to section 3, how messages travel.
Neurons generate messages, which we call nerve impulses, and there are actually two distinct types of travel happening, electrical and chemical.
Electrical impulses travel strictly inside the neurons themselves. But here is the fascinating catch. Neurons don't physically touch each other. There's a tiny microscopic gap between them called a synapse. So, to cross that gap, the signal has to completely change its nature. Imagine a fast-moving river separating two land masses. The electrical signal is like a sports car that runs out of road right at the water's edge. To keep the message moving, the car essentially gets loaded onto chemical ferries, which are your neurotransmitters.